name is Reverend Judith Laxer, and I'm the founding priestess of Gaia's Temple, and that's what I'd like to talk with you about. We are an inclusive ministry, and we honor the divine feminine by honoring nature and the qualities of compassion and relatedness. We believe that the earth is a sentient being. We don't believe that earth is just dense matter that becomes resources for us to use. We believe that we co-create our reality with Mother Earth. And if you'd like more information about Gaia's Temple, or just want to check out a pagan service, or if you'd like more information about Gaia's Temple, or just want to check out a pagan service, and gather, no place where people who worship the goddess. So the teachings of Gaia's Temple revolve around nature and the seasons, the wheel of
Recently, the Caesar called for ecological responsibility, this being another prime example of the papacy being behind the false Gaia pagan religion to come and enforced by the Caesar's World Army, along with local civilian eco-soldiers and inspectors working for his socialist communist Marxist fascist police state. None other than the Mystery Babylon religion of Revelation 17, centered in Rome. Of course the Caesar will continue to be its new head under whatever new title and garments whilst based within his Latin kingdom of Jerusalem. The papacy now owning 60+% of Jerusalem and the Temple Mount since the signing of the Oslo Accord in 1993, within the Roman-controlled sovereign nation of Washington, D.C. All thanks to Jesuit-trained, loyal Hofjuden, Sabatian Frankist, Shimon Peres and company. The Caesar will then command the revived Babylon with its Jerusalem, Dubai and Mesopotamia Iraq combined. These being the spiritual, financial and political powers of the world when the transference from west to east occurs shortly. We saw the Caesar's Praetorian Guard, the Society of Jesus behind the front puppet show called the Copenhagen 15 Summit, with Jesuit soldier, Ottmar Edenhofer S.J. The COP15 also being tied into the Caesars, Club de Madrid whose president is socialist, Willem Koch, the Minister van Stat of Netherlands. A treasonous tyrant working for the Caesar, under his Dame of Malta and Order of the Golden Fleece, Queen Beatrix. A queen who confesses to a Jesuit soldier by the name of Hub, Aztehu S.J. The same queen controlled by another Jesuit soldier by the name of Edward Gimmon, S.J. Koch is a known member of the Jesuit-created Bilderberg Group which was the brainchild of Knight of Malta, Joseph Frettinger. Koch is also part of Royal Dutch Shell, a tyrant of a corporation controlled by Queen Beatrix. We also see he's tied in with the Knights of Malta controlled, Internationale Nederlanden Group and banking. Koch claims to be an atheist whilst secretly he worships Lucifer like all his brethren. Koch and Beatrix have both committed treason on the Netherlands as they've continued to push the Lisbon Treaty for the creation of the European Union and its ratification, therefore dissolving the sovereignty of the region. A European Union being the desire of Jesuit soldier, Alcide de Gasperi, S.J. The base location of Club de Madrid is none other than Madrid, Spain. Just as the headquarters of the Union for the Mediterranean is located within Barcelona, Spain. This all ties back to the Spanish Inquisition and the Farnese papal nobility bloodline. The Farnesian Borgia being behind the creation of the Society of Jesus itself and of course the current Spanish monarch Carlos. King Juan Carlos being a descendant of Elizabeth Farnese whilst holding the title of Protector of the Holy Sites of Jerusalem, along with the title of Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques. A member of the Egyptian-born, Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem, also a member of more crusaders known as the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. The monarch of monarchs within the Roman Empire with direct contact with both the Superior General of the Society of Jesus and the papal nobility Sacred Roman Empire families. All based on a hoax climate problem, in order to bring about the Caesars' temporal power over the globe. A document called the Iron Mountain Report, created in the 60s by the Special Study Group, is key to this deception. A deception recently proven by what's now termed as ClimateGate. Temporal coadjutor Edward Kennedy played his part in the creation of this the Iron Mountain Report. A report claimed to be a hoax, but in fact proven over these later years to be totally correct. No wonder Lyndon Johnson supposedly wanted the leaked report suppressed. Remember how he was sworn into office on a Catholic missal, rather than a King James I authorized 1611 Bible. Lyndon, working under Cardinal Francis Spellman, was well connected in the Knights of Malta assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. Lyndon was also controlled by Jesuit soldier John O'Connor S.J. Remember, the U.S. President serves the President of the Jesuit Conference of the United States. Right now this is Thomas Smolik S.J. The U.S. President also serves the Jesuit Provincial of Maryland, currently James M. Scheer, S.J. The U.S. President is further subordinate to both the Archbishop of Washington, D.C., currently Donald Houle, along with the Apostolic Nuncio, Pietro Sambi. Last but not least, the President of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, Francis Eugene George. What's also interesting was the throwing around of the Luce family name in regards to this Iron Mountain document. The Luce family are very high-level Knights of Malta, who were obviously connected to its head at the time, Cardinal Francis Spellman, at the powerhouse, St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. The Luces were some of the highest conspirators in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The United Nations was created in 1945 by the Caesars, Knights of Malta, commanded by the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem. Incidentally, the United Nations has both these tyrant orders with a status of permanent observer. The Knights of Malta stem from the Crusades, whilst the sepulchres stem even further back to the equestrian rites of Egypt, if the truth is to be known. The Knights of Malta are the super-government for the papal bloodlines controlling the world from Borgo Santo Spirito. Borgo being the home of the headquarters of the Superior General of the Society of Jesus at the Curia Generalizia. This being the head of the dragon, not to mention the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem, Knights of Malta, Scottish Rite and more. The divine dragon known as the Vatican has its true head placed within the sovereign missile-protected Borgo Santo Spirito. The Holy See since 1964 has had permanent observer status within its UN. Permanent observer status suits the Vatican, as this title doesn't bind those under it to the United Nations Charter. So as the Caesar blames the people for the Earth's problems, he purposely forgets how it's his cliques who destroy the rainforests and do everything in their power to pollute and profit, tied to the likes of the Knight of Malta controlled International Business Leaders Forum and alike. So be very aware of the likes of these habitat conferences taking place, wishing to steal your property from underneath you in order to protect Mother Earth. In truth, the stealing of your homes will be so they can dictate where you live and who with. They want at least 50% of the private property in the next decade alone, then the remainder from then on. You're about to be totally enslaved within the new unholy Roman Empire, and its next economic credit system, which effectively makes the entire globe a prison without bars. Jesuit temporal coadjutor Alex Jones is right in calling the world a prison planet, a system once again controlled by international maritime admiralty law, or Roman civil law, applied to both land and sea today. The Romans perfected this, and this is why it's based on Roman canon law. The Catholic priests have taught both Justinian Roman civil law and canon law side by side at the University of Bologna for centuries. This dominates all laws and it's controlled by the greatest merchants on earth, the Knights of Malta, all of which Roman law is, of course, symbolized by the fasci, a bundle of sticks with an axe head protruding, the symbol of judicial authority within the Roman Empire. An empire controlled by the sacred 13 Roman families, of which the 5 most powerful are Orsini, Farnese, Somaglia, Breakspear and Aldobrandini. The latter openly boasting amongst nobles they control, that their family is of the Nephilim giants of Genesis 6, 1-4. Beware of a false pagan-inspired document created in 2007 on October 9. This was very much tied to the British monarchy in particular. The document is known as the Green Bible. It's taken from a false Bible called the New Revised Standard Version, NRSV. The only true Bible is the Geneva Bible of 1560 or 1599, from John Calvin and John Knox. The Bible of the Reformation carried by Oliver Cromwell and the Puritans before him. This is why the Jesuits and their puppets like the false British royalty, wishing to destroy the true Bible, releasing hundreds of false Bibles and texts in its place, then pushing the Alpha Course, false teachings. The same British monarchy, or monarchies, should we say, that are fully controlled from 114 Mount Street, Ambrosden Avenue, 46 Francis Street, 58 Grove End Road, and 150 St George's Road, all in London. See how this false pagan document was printed on Forest Stewardship Council paper controlled by who? None other than Order of the Garter, Prince Charles. A most devious tyrant, who hides himself under veils, unlike his relatives. The FSC's base in the United Kingdom is none other than Llanidloes, in Wales, of which Charles is the Prince of. Now study the Pontifex Maximus's ties to the Green Bible. Of course the Forest Stewardship Council was present at the Jesuit Copenhagen 15 conference.